Welcome everybody. We have a songwriter, producer, actor, loving father, and a caring husband with us here today. Mr. Gerhard Steyn, welcome.
Bobby, nice to see you.
Everybody, we're going to try and show a different angle to the superstar that you think you know. So we're going to go back in his history, find out what he's been up to when he was 16, 17 years old, dive into a little bit of now, and perhaps, if you may, give us a glimpse of the future, what's coming. You ready?
Yeah. I was born ready.
Let's do this. So, Mr. Gerhard, if we were to pick your brain at the early age of 17, you're in high school, 17 years old, who is Gerhard? What are you thinking about? What are your priorities? Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, I think at that age, you're like a lost boy, you're lost in translation, and you're trying to find yourself and figure out who you want to be. Who you are is relative to what you've been influenced by, by your parents. I come out of and I must be honest, I come out of a broken home. So my mother actually, took care of us for a long while in our lives. My father, they got separated when I was like 15. And I think at that age, it's very important to have that father figure, and I never had that. But that didn't stop me, and that didn't stop me from achieving things in my life. I think it actually encouraged me more. It gave me more petrol, more fire and fuel. So at 17, I think the first priority I had was girls and cars. So get a girl and get a car to get the girl with. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. I think all boys are like that, boys and their toys. But for me also, when I thought of of someone that I want to spend my life with, I've always been like that. I've always had this vision of not only having a girlfriend, but of having a wife. And caring for and having children. So for a long time in my life, I've been like that. I want a family. I want to have a wife. Not a lot of girlfriends. That happened, unfortunately. And in sport, obviously, rugby. We played rugby. Sports, I did javelin, shot put. I did some running, and then I got a little bit bigger. So running was not that easy then. In rugby, I played eighth man. I enjoyed rugby a lot. I actually thought of maybe pursuing it as a career, as all boys do. And then somewhere, along the line, I got an opportunity, to go into the music industry and into the entertainment industry, and I had to choose. And I was like, I did sports for so long that I would rather pursue something that's a bit more of a challenge that I'm not good at yet.
But how does that happen? With that mindset, and I love the fact that you touched on, the broken home, the tough upbringing. A lot of successful people that I've spoken to come from a bit of a hardship background, and that I think that creates a fuel and a fire within somebody that I can see it in your eyes. I come from a similar situation. My parents immigrated to South Africa. I couldn't speak English. I couldn't speak Afrikaans. I had to learn a whole new culture, and that drove me. I think if I was born here, I wouldn't be as driven as that because of the adversity, that no friends, no family. But going back to the mindset of girls and cars, and you have to make a decision, sport or entertainment. Do you one day sing for a girl and she tells her friends, he's very talented? How does that happen? How do you dive into that industry?
So, I don't think I'm, typically the guy that took a, hairbrush and just, actually sang in front of the mirror.
You don't know the time.
I actually, took up playing guitar. My mother actually introduced us to, piano and guitar lessons when we were in standard 5.
Okay.
And then I was like, no, man, I don't want to play piano and play guitar.
I want to play
Girls and rugby. And then in standard 7, standard 7, standard 8, I had this urge to pick up the guitar, and I wanted to play it. I wanted to pick it up and play and write.
It spoke to you.
Yeah, it spoke to me, but music has always spoken to me. And music is such a big stress reliever. And at that stage I listened, and I like all music. But at that stage I listened to Bryan Adams,
Okay.
He's had a huge impact in my life as a songwriter. He's a brilliant songwriter.
Absolutely.
You know, if it's vibey or if it's deep or if it's a love song, romance or whatever, he's just such a good songwriter. And you know, I think also the fact that his producer came from from South Africa, the producer that produced him.
I never knew that.
Robert Matlange, yeah.
Wow.
So he actually then later married Shania Twain. I think they separated later on, but he came from South Africa, and that motivated me because then I learned that he co-wrote with Bryan Adams the song "Everything I Do It For You," and a lot of even songs before that.
Wow.
With AC/DC and a lot of other guys. So that impressed me, and I was like, but I like this because it means someone can come from humble beginnings in South Africa and move on to a platform, an international platform.
I mean, it's number one. I mean, those names are, and they've been legendary for so many years. They'll never grow old.
He did that song also. It was called "Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car." So he also produced that. So there's a lot of hit songs that he was involved with. I was like, but this is so cool, man. And so my first focus, when I picked up a guitar was like, I want to write songs. So I sat down and I was actually kind of boring because when my buddies came to Bra, whatever, they said, no, play some songs. I played my songs and no one listened. I was like, okay, but then you play something else, then they listen. Like, but I need them to know my songs.
Yeah.
So and then I actually focused on that. I said, no matter if they don't listen to my songs, when we're around the Bra, I'll sing the songs they know, but when I'm by myself, I'm going to write songs. And that's where my mother is a good writer. My mother is actually a poet as well. She's an Afrikaans teacher.
Okay.
She was, like head of department Afrikaans and maths.
So that's a value that was instilled within you. You were around that the whole time. That's where you picked it up first.
And she's such a strong leader. My mother is one of those people, and I remember she had 3 or 4 jobs at the same time.
Wow.
She was, to provide for us,
to take care of you.
So she went to school. Then when she came home, that's where I learned cooking because I had to cook for us all because she was busy all the time.
Are you the oldest?
So I'm the oldest. So that's why I can cook. That's why I can make food, and why I love to cook. So because I had to make food, she took out a frozen chicken. Well, there's your dinner. I'm like, what?
Let's try it.
Find out what you need to do. But she's such a strong woman. I mean, if it wasn't for my mother, I don't think I'll be anywhere in life.
Awesome, amazing. Shout out,
Mama.
There we go. Then, off topic, onto a new topic. Big guy like you, strong values, family, children, you've got a vision, you've got goals, you are very driven. Your energy is infectious. Everybody that meets you has great things to say about you. What keeps you up at night? What are some of the things that you can't stop thinking about, that you're worried, or that you constantly think about? What keeps you up at night?
Just to say a little something about the fact that people got a lot of great stuff to say about you. I'm sure there's someone out there that thinks I'm an idiot. There's always people that think you're an idiot, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Those people are the type of people that actually drive me, that drives us.
Me too.
And I appreciate those people because they keep my feet flat on the ground, you know what I'm saying? They keep me grounded. So I like those people a lot.
I've got a theory about haters. And a lot of people, when you get negative feedback, your first impression is no. And
yes.
That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. If you step back, so for example, a couple of years ago, coming up as a dealer, making a name, some of the other dealers, they've only got 1 branch, but they're marketing like they have 3. So I thought, why don't we open a 2nd branch and see if we can handle that? So sometimes haters guide you to where you need to be going. It's not necessary. It's not all good. Sometimes they troll you and just be horrible and miserable to you. But sometimes it's your North Star. I see it as a North Star. I need to pursue whatever they are, rather either discouraging me to do or encouraging me to do.
And you know what? Maybe we should look at those people sometimes and like you said, step back and listen and actually see what they're saying or hear what they're saying, because sometimes they're right.
Yeah, most times they're right.
Sometimes they're right. That's why it hurts.
Yeah.
So that's a nice, like you said, a North Star.
Yeah.
But okay, so the things that keep me up at night, I think, is is keeping the boat afloat. I think we all think of that all the time. I mean, businessmen like us, we think of keeping the boat afloat.
Lots of moving parts.
Lots of moving parts, keeping everything together. But I find my peace, I don't want to call it my religion, but
Your
I find
faith?
my faith and in my Maker. I believe that God has guided me a lot of times in my life. I'm very open about my faith because it's
Me
an
too.
experience.
Me too.
For me, it's an experience. No one can tell me anything about you if I've met you. But if people tell me about Bobby, they're like, Bobby is so and so and so and so. I'm Kenny for Bobby.
Yeah.
Once I meet you, I'm like, okay, but Bobby is so and so and so and so. So I've had that experience of meeting my Maker and
Beautiful.
and having that experience. So there's a lot of people that say, but how can you believe there's a God? Well, this is going in a whole different direction. But for me, I've had that experience, and for me, it's an anchor. It is a lighthouse. It is a beach. It is a peaceful moment. It's just that moment where you just sit down and just realize how great God is, and no matter what your challenges are. So I don't want to be awake at night, because if I do that, then I'm rebelling against what my faith is.
Makes 100% sense. That's great advice. Thank you very much.
So I don't want to be up at night.
That's great advice. Why worry about stuff that's most of the time out of your control when your Maker's got your back? What's your favorite verse in the Bible?
Jeremiah 29 verse 11. It says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you.
Wow. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper, not to harm you.
That's it.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to touch briefly on the subject, and then we're going to jump off, because we can't avoid it. It's here. Hopefully we are through a phase where we're transitioning out of it. COVID-19. What's the one lesson that you've learned? I'll give you my lesson, and then maybe you can give us your lesson. What has COVID-19 taught you? For me, digital retailing. Everything is online. People don't want to go out anymore. They want to get an answer now. So as entrepreneurs, figuring out solutions to problems that perhaps didn't even exist. Having things on your mobile phone, solving problems online. That's what I've learned. What is your take on COVID-19?
Well, I can concur with you on that. I've had the same experience. I mean, like online shopping went up with, I think it's at the moment 50% in the world internationally, because people were locked down in their houses. So what did they do? They want to still have an experience. So they went online all the time. They shopped online because they couldn't go anyway. So that whole industry sparked and boomed, and is still booming. So there's a lot of people that still, now they know about those platforms. Now that's where they go.
It's picking up traction.
So, in our business, we had the same thing. That's why we did Quinnings Media. That's why me and Alvin went to Quinnings Media and said, but listen, these businesses, we want to make it affordable for businesses to be able to use two top brands in South Africa to represent them. That's how the whole Quinnings Media thing came about. For me, anticipation. To anticipate is so important.
Yeah.
You need to anticipate no matter what. You have to see around the corner.
Yeah, and you have to be almost in constant, I don't know what the right word is, you have to be fearful the whole time, like it's coming.
Something
What is coming?
What is coming? Yeah, and you must
Love it.
trust your instinct, trust your gut, and that's one thing that I trust a lot is my gut. I can feel things stirring up in my gut, good and bad.
Yeah. I think that comes from, we both have a little bit of silver lining here on the side. I've
got a little bit more than you.
The more of
GT
this
stripes.
makes you fast, see around the corner quicker. But if you don't trust that, then it will hit you like a train.
Exactly.
You have to trust it.
You have to anticipate all the time, and that's I'm one of those guys. So we're a lot of people sitting at the table, my kids and my wife, and then this cup is there, and my wife is talking. I'm the guy that does.
It's gonna
this.
fall. It's gonna fall.
Let's
Boom.
move the cup. Let's move that. Let's move that. Let's move that. So I'm the guy that's always anticipating something that can happen, negative and positive.
Yeah.
So, but you have to anticipate.
Both are important. Yeah. It takes a village to raise a person. A whole village. Okay. If I were to ask you 3 most influential people, I know number 1 is your mom.
Yeah.
We know why. Instilled good values, hard work ethic. She worked 3 jobs. I mean, that's evident. You've got so many things going on at the same time. I don't know how you juggle everything, but you do. What are the other 2 people, and what would you say is key to making the success that you've made in your life?
Well, like you say, it takes a village, and sometimes if you are hard-headed, then you take yourself out of the village, and then there's no one that can guide you. And I think I was kind of like that. I actually walked away from the village. I didn't want any guidance. I wanted to do everything on my own. I wanted to push on my own and do everything. I never thought that I needed people. But that comes, because of the fact that I didn't have a real relationship with my father. And I was wrong. You do need people. You do need to work with people. But I had to learn that the hard way. But it was like a whole bit of a rebel thing for me. I was a rebel. And my wife went to like elephant sanctuary once. She told me, and there was all these nice, beautiful elephants. They were calm. All the elephants were calm. There was this one young little elephant, and he was like looking for trouble with all of them, bumping against them and looking for a fight.
The testosterone levels are
looking for a fight. And so she said to the guy that's, the caretaker, he said to him, what's wrong with this elephant? She said, he doesn't have a father. He doesn't have a father, so he doesn't have any guidance. So for a long time, in my life, I went through bumping my head, and I don't think I was looking for trouble, but I was a hard-headed guy, and I was a firm believer that I need to achieve everything myself. I need to do it myself. And then I met God in my life, and then I met some great people in my life. A lot of people that influenced me in the right way. One of the guys, my mother firstly, she's just such a strong woman, and she taught me. I mean, if she could do it on her own, raising 3 kids out of hell, because we were also stoked. We were also stoked with it.
3 broers?
3 broers, actually oudste.
Wow.
En die oudste en die stoutste.
Wow.
En die mooiste, hoor. So my ma het 'n tabbetheid gehad, but she did it. And if she can do it, then me as a man, no discrimination, but I can do it. I can do it with my family. I can move forward. And so my mother, firstly, she taught me a lot of values. I can quickly maybe touch on one of them.
Please.
So I was actually, I was in school in standard 4. Then they made an announcement over the intercom and said that this guy and that guy and that guy, like 3 boys, they selected to the tryouts this afternoon for the rugby for the provincial team.
Wow.
And my name wasn't mentioned. I was like, whatever. So I went out, I waited for my mother, and so all the cars were parked and the guys were playing rugby, and my mother's so like, what is this? I said, no, it's tryouts for the provincial team. She said, but why are you not there? No, my name wasn't mentioned. And she's like, no, just give me your suitcase, please. I said, Ma, no. Take off your shit. Jy het mos 'n wesie onder, né?
Ja.
En jy het mos 'n broekie onder, né?
Ja.
Ek sê ja. Sy sê, gee my jou skoolklere, gee my jou tas, sit in die kar, dankie. Jy gaan sit nou langs daai veld en jy wag vir 'n geleentheid.
Wow.
And I walked there. Now I'm in standard 4.
Wow.
I was playing first team at that stage, but I'm sitting next to the field. At that stage, I was playing center.
Yeah.
And there was a gap that went open. One of the guys got hurt, and they asked, "Listen, we need a prop."
Here I am.
And
whatever
and
you
access,
need to be.
What do you want me to do? And I made the team, and I wasn't even called out. My name wasn't even called out.
Beautiful
so
story.
I made the, So
you made yourself
it was a few years
available.
back, yeah.
And I mean that can be a life lesson for anybody. Just because you didn't get the chance doesn't mean you're going to get you're not going to get a time. Or rather, just because you weren't called out to play the game doesn't mean you're going to get game time.
Exactly.
You just need to want game time.
Ja, so daar's ek in die Benoni span en they're part of the team. And
Beautiful story.
So that was for 2 years. So yeah, so my mother, and then first of all, and then there was another guy, one of my record label owners or heads or chiefs. Kobe Cooney had a big impact in my life also. Just as a friend, and in business, he taught me a lot in business, and we walked the road. I'm actually gone with that record label, but we had a great few years that we worked together.
So was
there's a bit of a saw there, but
strategy?
I cannot
I understand.
deny that
I understand.
the guy had a huge impact in my life, and I will always be appreciative of that.
It doesn't matter whether, I believe, if you walk a path, people will come along
Yeah.
to help you and guide you in your path. I mean, I hope there's a couple of 17, 18-year-old boys and girls, perhaps they don't have a parent. I mean, the impact that the people outside of your family had on you created this beautiful human. You are really, I'm going to say it again, we haven't spent much time together, but your energies, you are excited. You're like, the future looks bright. Let's go do it. So it can be done. And if a person joins you for a year or 2 or 5, doesn't matter, and leaves you again, that life lesson you take forward with you.
Definitely.
And whether the relationship is good or bad afterwards, you'll always be thankful. And I'm sure he feels the same about you.
Definitely. And then there's another guy, Gerhard Smits. He's one of my previous partners in a business venture that I had a venue. And he taught me so much about business and about people. And I think that's the first person that taught me about the fact that people is business.
Yeah, it's this.
That this is what it is.
Yeah.
There's systems in place, there's structures, and there's a lot of things. But people, business is people, people is business. And that's what it is. Mense is besigheid.
Yeah. Coming together, figuring out how to solve problems so we can pay our kids' school fees.
That's exactly. And so valuable lessons from, and one of the master sayings, which is, and I take that everywhere with me. He will always say, no matter the situation, if it's good or bad, mostly when it's bad, he'll say, no sudden movements.
No sudden movements.
No sudden movements.
Step back.
Just step back, analyze, raak rustig, look at the situation, and then you see what you can take from it. You see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
And try to encourage other people to do the same.
Yeah.
People that are part of the problem.
Yeah.
Let's all just, no sudden movements, let's just sit back and let's just quickly analyze this.
A couple of years ago, I seek counsel. It was getting very stressful. Lots of moving parts. Third dealership, nearly 200 people working at Midmac. And I felt like it's draining me. It's just because everything good doesn't come to my ears. Everything bad, I just get the bad stuff. Problems, this person resigned, this person's unhappy. And I got similar advice. I spoke to someone, his name is Jock. He said to me, I'll spend the day with you. I want to see, who comes in your office, how you react, what's your schedule like. So let me spend time with you. I said, cool, business coach. Came in, sat there the whole day. I forgot he was there. He just wrote down things on his page. He said, I've got 30-second advice for you. I said, okay. Everything that comes in here is negative. I don't want you to react. 90-second rule. I carry it till today. I've got 3 words. Be kind, be a leader, and just chill. So 90-second rule. Come in, give me the bad news. 90 seconds, I don't react. I just ask questions. A car was stolen recently in front of the dealership. Have we notified the insurance company? Yes. Who parked it there? This person parked it there. How was it stolen? Was it towed away? What happened? So in 90 seconds, I gathered all the information that my team, there was a mistake, but my team did everything in their power to make sure that that mistake is sorted out. I never got upset. We carried on with life. Because the previous Bobby would be throwing his toys, like using bad language. How the F do you stop the car there? 90 seconds, bang, bang, process the issue, go forward. That's great advice. Step back and look.
And I believe you add some years if you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You add some years to your life.
Less GT stripes.
Yeah. Adaptive headlights.
Adaptive headlights. One, I won't say a mistake, but a landmine that you've stepped on that blew a piece of your foot off in your career, business, professional, that somebody else doesn't need to step into. If you could share that.
There's so many things. There's so many things.
As a business person, there's hundreds.
There's hundreds of.
Just the first one that comes to mind.
I think I would do more things cash. And I want to say this because it's everyone is too scared to say the way they purchased or the way they did their stuff, because there was some times in my life that I did a lot of things cash, bought some cars cash,
yeah,
a lot of things cash, but I wish that I did more of that.
Okay, great.
Because when it's paid, it's paid.
It's yours.
It's yours.
It's an asset.
It's done. And because the times that I did that, when I needed to get maybe some cash injections, it's quickly to move that along. You know what I'm saying? So I wish I did more of that, but it's not the end. So I'm busy applying. I'm busy applying that rule. And this is saying it's so stupid, and we all miss it. Cash is king. Cash is king. If you've got something that you bought cash and you need to get an injection, and it's worth something for someone else.
And it doesn't matter house, car, whatever
Exactly.
you can. A car depreciates, but still you've got that
As a possible injection.
X amount of money that you can quickly release and carry on and fund a new venture or
Exactly
go
that.
into a new
and get some relief. You know what I'm saying? It's just a reliever, but you need to keep on doing that. So I've got some projects and some things that I'm busy with in that sense as well. So I would say. The bank wouldn't agree.
Of course, that's how they make money.
Exactly. But that's what I would say. I would say this is what you need to do.
We see it often. People get into a keeping up with the Joneses. I want my Hilux to have bigger wheels than your Hilux. Ek sal jou nou wys. Just because. But, they don't process the issue of, I still have to pay for this thing, 72 months down the road. So if you can do it cash, do it cash. Awesome. Best advice anybody has ever given you. Best advice.
Ek sal sê moenie kwaad word nie.
Moenie kwaad word nie.
Moenie kwaad word nie.
The calmest person in the room wins.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Moenie kwaad word nie. And that's the first thing that came to mind. And I think it's something that I know. It's not always possible not to get cross, but I can tell you the amounts of times that I just kept calm is way less than the times that I got angry,
And
because of a problem.
And which outcome was better?
Always when I was calm.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad afterwards. Because you say things that you don't mean, you do things that you don't actually would have done in your right mind.
Yeah.
When you get angry. So I think it makes a better journey. It makes a safer journey. It makes and you know what, you say things that afterwards you can never write it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Many times I'll have a sales manager or salesperson makes a mistake and I'll rev him. And instead of, as a leader or as a colleague, assess where the disconnect was, I'll try and drive him the way I would be driven, and that's by pushing me. But that person might not understand the situation. So rather than shouty at the colleague, sit him down. Where was the disconnect? Do you see the failure? Can we improve it? And that person leaves the office, got an 8-cock, but he doesn't know that he got an 8-cock. He is so fired up, he wants to take over the world with you.
Exactly.
But if you lose your calm and get aggressive, the outcome is always negative for both of you. And then you feel, what you said, afterwards I'm like, shit, I'm a horrible human being. I just grinded that poor guy and he just made a mistake. So I love that idea.
And then, the other thing is, I think sometimes we try to keep it calm at work or at business. When you get home, then all of a sudden you offload for nothing. That happens also.
Yeah.
And that's bad. So if you handle your business and your day in the right manner, then it's going to be smooth sailing everywhere.
You don't take that energy home.
You don't take that energy home.
You don't take it home.
So you need to sort it out in a good way, because now you get home, you disappointed with yourself. That's what happened. Because I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah.
And
You have to be.
You have to be.
Have to be.
I'm very hard on myself, and then sometimes I turn it around, and I'm hard on other people. Then that's close to me.
I think, as a professional, as a business person, your standards always need to be very high, and people around you, you expect them to reach your standards, but you don't always share the strategy. How did we get there? So you need to help them along, but not shove them along. I think yeah. Unfortunately, we all have a bit of that.
And it's also our prerogative with who we want to share that secret, because I've made the mistake.
Also true.
By sharing it with people that I actually created my own, competitors.
Yeah.
Because I shared that. Because I shared that knowledge, I actually created more competitors.
I want to touch on that because that's very, very, very down my alley. I want to bring a new process and a procedure in my company, in the industry, and I want, like I don't know if there's something wrong with me. I'm wired like there's something wrong with me.
I feel you.
I want my competitor across the street to see what I'm doing, use that against me, and make me level up. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
So our masterclasses, we give tons of valuable information to the consumers for free. Our competitor sees it, they do the same, which keeps me up at night. How am I going to one-up an already great episode? What do I need to do so that he's always chasing my shadow? I don't want to chase shadows. I want them to chase my shadow. And the more I feel, the more valuable info and the more leaders I create around me, even if they leave, the stronger the competition I'm going to have.
That's going to drive you as well.
Absolutely.
You need that drive.
It's really, that's a cool point we touched on. Okay. Another off-topic question. One person you could spend the whole day with. Doesn't need to be alive, dead or alive. One person, from the morning, meet that person, spend the whole day with that person. Who would it be and why?
I don't even need to think about that. I'm going to say Kingsley Holgate. I don't know if you know Kingsley Holgate.
No.
He's the adventurer, the guy with a grey beard that you've always seen some of the ads. And he just tours across the world, and like Africa, in a certain brand vehicle, which is British.
Okay, doesn't leak oil.
It doesn't leak oil at all. This guy's just a free spirit.
Okay.
Kingsley Holgate. And one of my friends actually had the opportunity to meet him. I can't remember where he said they met, but he saw him, either at a garage station or whatever. And he walked up and said, "Hey, Kingsley, how are you doing?" And he's such a nice guy, And they had a chat. He's a free spirit, and he said to him, "Kingsley, you're such a free spirit. Can you give me some advice about life?" And Kingsley said, "Okay." And he bent down and he picked up a few stones, and he put them on the bonnet of the vehicle. And he said to the guy, "How old do you think you're going to get?" He's like, that's a weird, difficult question, actually. He says, "Okay, cool. Let's say for argument's sake, 80. Okay. So he puts 8 stones, 8 little rocks down on the bonnet. He says to him, "How old are you now?" He says to him, "I'm 50. He takes 5 stones and he threw them away. He picks up the 3 stones and says to him, "You've got 3 stones left. What are you going to do?"
Oh. That's a deep question.
You've got 3 stones left. What are you going to do?
That's a deep question.
And that shook me because I'm thinking, I'm 45.
How many stones
I'm turning
do I
45
have?
in a week's time. How many stones have I got left? Because we don't know what life.
No. Have to make the best out of it.
That's it. So that's good advice. How many stones have you got left?
Yeah, I'll remember that. Work-life balance. My opinion?
Yeah, please.
My opinion?
Please do share.
There's no such thing. I don't know if you've got work, because you've got just as many moving parts as we do. Perhaps more.
It is. Spend time with your family, however you can do it. So what I did now the other day, and me and Alvin, we're busy.
Very busy
with our own stuff, and together. So now the other day I had an opportunity to meet with some guys in Middelburg. So I got home quickly from another meeting, from something else that I had to do, and my wife and my kids just pulled in. I said to them, "Listen, what are you doing now?" No, it was my net by the ICs. And I said, "Well, get in the car, come drive with me." It's an hour and 45 minutes drive. We get to spend some time together. Awesome. We get there, and they have to get out of the car, walk around a bit, maybe sit and wait in the car. The meeting was like 45 minutes, an hour long, but it was time with them.
3 hours.
It was 3 hours time that I
never had.
If I did that on my own, I wouldn't have had that. So I just popped them in the car and let's go. So make time, and don't push the time away. My brother actually said to me once. He said to me, "Jy weet Gerhard, jou besigheid en werk is soos 'n rubber ball. It's like a rubber ball. If you drop it, it bounces and you can catch it again.
Yeah.
But your family is a glass ball.
Oh, can't drop it.
If you drop it, it breaks. And there's so many pieces when glass breaks. How do you put it together again?
It's very difficult to
So you can't drop that ball.
Can't. I think, the time that you allocate, spend it wisely. If you get home, even if you get home late and you've got an hour and a half before the kids go to sleep, the wife goes to sleep, if you spend it watching Netflix, whether you got home and you had an hour and a half or 5.5 hours, it's the same. So I think quality time and what you do with the time is what brings the balance for me.
Exactly, the quality time and what you do with that time.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, I'm a big family guy. I love my family to bits. I like spending time with my family. My two daughters and my wife. We love spending time together, and that's why 4.5 years back already, you know, I decided to do some other stuff in my life, other business, so that I can spend time with them. So that, I mean, usually, you know, you're touring from a Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, if you're in Kimberley, then you're only driving back Sunday. It's a whole day's drive back. Then you get only that time. Then on Monday morning, so you've got half of Sunday. Then Monday morning, you've got an interview again with whoever, with a newspaper or with a magazine or with a radio station or a TV interview. So then you're busy Monday and Tuesday again. And then Wednesday, you get on the road again. So the first year of my daughter's life, of my oldest daughter's life, I watched her grow up on her phone. I saw her growing up on my phone. My wife sent me pictures. Sy begin 'n woordjie te sê, it looks like she will begin to kruip. And after that year, I just said, no more. I stopped everything. I stopped my shows. I got involved in another business. I actually started up a whole big venue that we built up live at Wildebeest. It's a kuierplek in Boksburg that I could do business, and the same business, the business that I know, entertainment, put up shows for people because there wasn't anything like that in the whole East Rand.
Understood.
So I put up the biggest place there to make sure that we can draw people. Got all the artists on a big evening. We did like 1,200 people. Wow. On normal evenings, like Kuier Onda, we did like 450, 600 people.
It's a lot.
A lot of people. So that's it's another monster. But yeah, in any case, so that's what I did now for like 3.5 years before we sold the place.
I want to touch on that time watching your daughter grow on the phone. You were focused. You ran a sprint, not a marathon, because that's a sprint. It's like this the whole time. I'm sure that one day, when you have that conversation with her, maybe she watches this, I'm sure that in her heart she's very thankful for what you did and the sacrifices that you went through to be able to set yourself up for the next business that will allow you more time to. So you sequenced correctly. You saw the ball is busy falling.
Anticipate.
You grabbed it, anticipated, put it safely. It didn't break. Well done. And
I make a lot of mistakes as well. But thank you.
Yeah, but family, you need to focus on family.
Definitely.
Favorite book at our company, whether the employees love me or hate me, it's a must. You have to read a book a month. We do. Of late, we are starting to enjoy it more because it's now a team sport, and we do reviews. We talk about the books every Wednesday, so we've got an hour of book review. What is your favorite book and why?
There's so many. I must honestly tell you, there's a lot of book covers flying through my head as I'm paging. I would say anything motivational. Any book by Gerhard Steyn, which is Christian motivational.
John C. Maxwell?
Definitely.
Yeah. Leadership. That's the latest one that I loved, Leadership.
And any motivational book, for me, one book that actually, for me, is one that I like to refer to all the time, is one by Gerhard Steyn, how to become a better you. How to become a better you. Better you. A better life.
Okay.
So it's it's all those things about moenie kwaad word nie. Try not to get cross. Rather calm down. Take it easy. Vind vrede. Look for peace in your life.
Yeah.
When you've got inner peace, then you can project it as well. Gerhard Steyn, touched my life in a big way as a motivational Christian evangelist. Preacher.
Ja.
En dan die boek wat ek nou onlangs begin het saam met my vrou is The Secret.
The Secret.
So ek het hom jare terug het ek hom al begin lees.
Yeah.
But I never, I kind of read it and I kind of looked at it. But now really, we've been looking at it, me and my wife, reading and applying that in life. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude brings forth more gratitude, and gratitude leads to success.
Yeah.
And now that we know how we achieve success, we just need to be grateful.
Yeah. Well, success is in your own mind. You know what
100%,
success means for you.
100%.
Awesome. The secret. I got a colleague of mine, Mr. Tian, gave me that book for my birthday about a month and a half ago. So I'm going to start reading it tonight.
And 10 things, and the 10 things that you should be thankful for every day. Make sure that you know, something small, my eyes, my hands,
Yeah.
you know,
We walked here.
my legs.
We're standing here having a cup of coffee,
Exactly.
having a nice chat. Mr. Gerhard, what do we expect in the future? What are some of the projects that you're busy with, that you're excited about, that we can share with all our viewers?
Well, the one thing that me and Alvin is busy with, as people know, is Quinnings Media.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing that I would like to talk about.
Some funny ads.
Yeah, because we've got a vision. We've got
Yeah.
a vision with that business. It's not just, you know, the social media ads. We have now recently done a TV ad, so we're busy with TV ads as well for for companies. So we want to build that production house, and that's a dream for me, and that's a dream that's alive and well, and I think for Alvin as well. So we want to get there.
I think if there's one partner that will, you know, hold hands with you and push it all the way, it's definitely Alvin.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You guys are brilliant match.
And he's just a brilliant friend, and we're like brothers and partners.
Yeah.
We're family. It's so easy to do stuff together, but we also bump heads. We also fight and differ.
I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there.
But it always comes together, and you know, we've laughed at ourselves.
Yeah.
We're fighting about this, not fighting, but we're trying to get it there where it works, and then all of a sudden it just works.
Opposing opinions.
And
When
strong-minded people.
Yeah, when argued respectfully,
That's it.
come out to the truth.
And to magic.
Yeah.
There's magic that happens.
No ego.
Exactly.
I'm sorry,
Put it
you know,
aside.
your way is better, but my will be better next time. So opposing, I love it.
100%.
And if one is a pushover, you'll never grow. You need to challenge each other. I love it.
Exactly. So that's one of the things that we're definitely, besides the other stuff we're busy with. We've got some other ideas together as well for a TV show and stuff. But we'll get there for the new TV show. Then the other venture that I'm involved with is Eyegas. It's a unit that we imported from Texas, from overseas, me and my uncle.
What does it do?
Well, it measures gas. It's a gas monitoring system. So
On a gas bottle.
yeah, so it's got
A gauge?
Not a gauge. Not a gauge. It's a unit that works through an app on your phone, and then it connects via Bluetooth. So you can download it on the Play Store, and you can download it on your App Store, depending on what phone you got. And basically, it works like sonar. So it reads with sonar right through the bottle, right through the gas, onto the top of the sphere, and then it bounces back. And whatever the delta is, that's what it'll read and give you the percentage of what's left in your bottle. So you can get notifications daily, on your phone. I mean, how many times have you run out of gas?
I'm just thinking, that's why I went quiet. This weekend, a bride, and the fire was dying. I shook it and I turned it around, and I was like, please, Lord, it needs to last until the end, please. So I mean, and what happens is, all the guests are there. Can you please move your car? I forgot to buy gas.
Yeah.
This will send me a signal on my cell phone.
There's a signal on your cell phone. It works on the app. You can decide. It can notify you every 2 hours, every 6 hours, every 8 hours, once a week. And also the nice safety feature, which, that Alvin actually lifted up for us. I said, listen, but the fact that it can measure gas, if it loses gas, it can also notify you. So it's got a nice safety feature.
Of course, because gas you can't really smell in a big. If you're right next to it, yes, but not in a big environment.
If you don't use your gas and you see that it's going down, something's wrong.
There's a leak.
Then the bottle is.
I'm thinking like restaurants, most homes today, camping. Most homes have those big bottles. I can't turn that big bottle around.
No, you can't.
Geysers, amazing.
Gas bras, gas heaters.
On the Play Store as well as on the Samsung App Store.
Yeah, that's right.
And when is it being launched?
Well, it's actually launched already, so people can go on www.eyegas.co.za and go and have a look at the product. And we've got an online store.
So you can order and
order
it gets
online,
shipped.
shipped. And obviously there's a lot of resellers and a lot of people that want to resell the product. So we've got a recommended we've got a recommended selling price, the RSP.
Yeah.
And then, but we'll negotiate like a reseller's price. So that people
Roughly,
can
what
make
does it cost?
Well, the unit at the moment is $859, which is a good price for something
Very.
that's the first in South Africa.
Yeah,
There's
very.
nothing like it. There's no other unit like it.
How long does it last? Does it use a battery?
Yeah, it uses a battery up to between 1.5 years and 2 years. The battery lasts.
No,
So,
that's
yeah.
fine. That's a long time.
And it's an
Easy replacement.
easy replacement.
Amazing. I think that's definitely a solution to a problem that does exist.
Gas op je foon.
100%. Mr. Gerhard, I'm so thankful for the time you've shared with us. I've learned a lot. I will never forget this meeting. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope your gas monitoring and your media house and everything just explodes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too.